Why ultimately do you think Bill decided to release Cam and move on to the rookie?
Well, first and foremost, let me say, Patriots Nation, I love y'all. There's no beef with me and Belichick. I am just a competitor at my heart. Everything I do, it seems like it's just a competition. And second of all, okay, to answer your question, my tweet had nothing to do with the release. I was just speaking in general of Belichick and how he operates. You know what I mean? So they took that and ran with it. So, but we can go with that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So obviously you made some news with that. So let's get.
Can I just?
Yeah.
I just want to backtrack. When you say you're just a competitor, you mean that when the issue of Brady and Belichick comes up, you're competitive and want to create a hierarchy, you want to rank them, you want to pit them against each. Is that what you mean by you're just a competitor?
I'm glad you called it. I'm glad you brought it up. Exactly. So in my head, being that I've been a part of the situation, I played for the Patriots. I was there young with Tom and everything. In my head, this is a competition between Tom Brady and Belichick. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady has already showed that he can win wherever he goes. Through adversity, through a pandemic, getting kicked off of fields, barely even having any practice. I didn't expect him to win the Super Bowl, and he won the Super Bowl. So now what I'm saying is anybody can coach Tom and win a Super Bowl. So now you have to show, if you, in my eyes, in my competitive head, in order to be great, in my opinion, you have to show that you can do that without that person. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. That's what I mean in my competitive head.
No, and I feel that, Asante, and I'm with you, like the competitive piece. But in the tweet, you said, man, he's just another coach. Like that's a big statement. So explain to us a little bit more, because you proved, like Tom Brady did prove it. He went with Tampa Bay, and he had Bruce Arians, and he had a team around him, and he won. Bill Belichick, they didn't make the playoffs last year. So tell us more about, like you said, man, just another coach. Like, tell us more.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. What I said. He hasn't showed that he is a great coach to me because he had the greatest player of all time. So your history, anybody with opinion with no basis and no facts are just people talking. So when you throw out opinions, you have to have some type of basis or some type of facts to back it up. So,
okay, what about this, Asante, in terms of the facts? Because I hear everything you're saying, and I was one of those people, it's Belichick, and I'm like, oh, man, well, hold on, time out. Maybe I was wrong all those years. It's Brady. I thought this was a coach's league, right? But he's a two-time champion as a defensive coordinator, Belichick. Without Brady and with Matt Castle, who never did anything again in the NFL, really, he won 11 games, 10 of them with Matt Castle that year. And last year, in a COVID season with all that, 9 guys opting out because of COVID, no offense, that's on him, but as a GM, really, right? He didn't have the pieces around him. New quarterback who then got COVID. He came 2 plays away from going 9-7, did win 7 games. Like that, in other words, all the things I just said to you make him just another coach. Doesn't that show something?
It shows a little bit. Like I said, we're talking about the word great here. Mm-hmm. I think people use the word great and throws it around like it's just another word. To be great, you have to do some special things, in my opinion. And you can't just do it with one situation at one team. And it's history, okay? Let's see the players he picked, his number 1 draft picks, his draft history. You know, let's see how those pan out. When he goes into free agent, spends a bunch of money. How does that pan out? The one time he did it for Tom Brady, the one time we go undefeated. You get the Randy Mosses, the top receivers, and you finally surround Tom Brady with some talent, and now you go undefeated. So what I'm saying is, you've been doing a disjustice to the New England Patriots family and the team by not surrounding us with us talent year in and year out, because he probably can go undefeated every year. But for some reason, you choose to always give him the low end of value talent.
What was your relationship like, Asante, when you were with New England for those seasons?
Oh man, it was tough, man. It was. I'm a guy that I'm a stand-up guy. I don't fall for anything. I'm not a dupe boy. So coaches like control, and when you can't control a player to do things how you want them to do it, it becomes an issue. As long as I was getting the job done, that's what I thought it was about. But sometimes when you're doing things, to have fun or whatever you think is right, it becomes an issue, and you and the coach would bump heads a lot of the times. And I think that was my main issue.
No, definitely. And you have a point.
But no, don't get it twisted. Me and coach are fine. We cool. He's competitive like me, and I think he knows that. He sees that about me. He'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, what you're saying, some people do think it's like, man, well, Brady did it, and it's a competition, so can Belichick do it as well? And this is a time where we get a chance to see. I want to transition a little bit to your son, because obviously a lot of people watched him at Florida State, and now he's with the LA Chargers, and I feel like he's going to be special, specifically in that defense with Brandon Staley's got a defensive mind. Like, that nickel position is going to be huge. How did you feel when he got drafted specifically to LA Chargers?
Man, wherever he went, it was a dream come true. I wanted him just to get drafted high as he could. Going to that defense, I think, is definitely a blessing for him. They do a lot of mixing up and a lot of different schemes and stuff, and not just stuck on one thing. So I think that definitely will play to his strengths and help him be more successful. You know what I mean? So I think that was a good one.
Asante, I hear what you're saying about Coach, and you're just competitive, and he's the same way, and you guys are good. It sounds to me, I just got to be honest, it sounds to me like there's a little axe to grind. Like, maybe just even when you talk about you want to have fun, and if you weren't doing it his way, you won Super Bowls, your Pro Bowl, like the whole thing. And yet it sounds to me like it's not just like you're not, whether or not you're being honest, I believe you're being honest, but like you have a certain feeling about it toward Coach. Am I right there? Is there an axe to grind about your time not being more fun there?
No, man, it is what it is. You have to see the history of this. I've been saying this since the playoff games with the Jets. I came out with an article about how I feel about what the coaches treating everybody and what they think. No, at the end of the day, this is the facts. I see everybody just throw around this greatness word, and I hate it. I hate people just throw greatness around like that. There should be standards to greatness. You can't just say somebody's great and they don't have the standards. I hate it. It drives me crazy. So that's what I'm saying. If I would have been at Patriots for 11 years and did 58 interceptions, all at the Patriots, what they would have said, he's a system player, he can't do it anywhere else. So greatness is I did it everywhere I went. So that's what I'm trying to explain. So you can't just be great off of one situation and then no. Let's hold some standards to greatness. Let's see how great you are without that number one guy.
Let's stay with that standard. When you were in New England, did you feel like you were playing for a great coach, and was he the greatest coach you've ever played for?
Well, I was learning everything. I was still learning. I was learning how to be a man. I hear all this media saying this and that, and when media says somebody great and they say somebody's the greatest, I go do my research. I don't just listen to y'all and say, yeah, he's the greatest. I'm not a Duke boy. So I have my own mind. I go do my research and I say, why is this person great? What did they do that was so special to make them great? And then
who's a great coach, Asante? Who's a great coach? Who is a great coach?
I have to do my research. I have to do my research and figure it out. But I don't know, man. I just listen to you all say it, and then I go do my research. You know.
But you actually played for him when you were there in New England. Did you feel like I'm playing for? You were there 4 years. Did you feel like I'm playing for a great coach, without research, just you being in the system, being in that locker room?
From what everybody was telling me, yes. Yes. And yes, he's a great coach. He has some great some great things he do, you know what I mean? But to be that top tier great of how you guys have tried explaining it, in you guys' eyes, pretty much everybody that wins games is great. No, you can't be great. Like, you know what I mean? So go ahead, talk to me, Sam.
Real quick. So I just want to know, because I hear everything you're saying. Without Tom Brady, do you think Bill Belichick could have won some of those rings that he won?
Great question. I think he would win one Super Bowl without Tom Brady being there that long if he would have lasted that long. And that's an honest opinion. And here's another case for me. Tom Brady's there all these years. He don't surround him with all the talent. You bringing guys off the street, making them star. You got Troy Brown playing nickelback, which is a receiver. And not to take nothing from Troy. Troy was awesome. He did a great job. But my point is, you only could do those things with Tom Brady. And you knew that, Bill, and you took advantage of that. And you would suppress other players, hold them back from incentives or whatever the case may be. But you knew you could do that with Tom. But you can't do that now because you have to show that you have to win, be able to win.
And
you
clearly,
could do that
the Patriots did spend the money this offseason. That's for sure, the most that they have.
The first time.
But I just want to.
I'd like to interview on any show I do at least once a week, if you don't mind.
Hey man, hey, let's get it going. We can talk
Hey,
about boxing too. Hey,
yes.
boxing is 50 wins to get in the Hall of Fame, right?
No, much less than that. Much less
Much
than
right,
that.
less
I'll
than that,
leave
but
you
it's
with
a
this,
standard.
though.
It's a standard.
And you keep it a buck, Asante. I appreciate it, bro.
Okay,
Already
Asante
100
saying
anytime.
that Bill Belichick would have won one ring without Tom Brady.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.